Hello, it's Ayesha here from God FM. It's absolutely exhausting. I want to talk about Mr. Gary Waterman again. Yes, he's decided to put my details in his research document now as well. It's so exhausting. Anyway, I have done a letter in response to this because I don't see how using an accountant to file my accounts for me links me to a company's house fraud and a criminal cartel buying and selling and trafficking of people. And I also want to make you aware that since Mr. Gary Waterman departed and has started saying these things about God FM, I'm a targeted individual, and the increase in the targeting and the hacking and the attack has gone up to about 90%. It's so much worse. I've had blisters on my face, all over my back, and it's just hacking and stalking. It's like a new reign of terror. And also, now, because of what he said, people don't trust me. And I work for the Lord. I've dedicated a lot of my time to helping Gary as much as I can. I'm the one who created the notice, the closure notice, because I didn't think it was good to go in and serve a notice by phone and with a scribble of paper, because people wouldn't take you seriously. I'm also the one who came up with the idea of the action packs. I'm also the one who came up with an idea for a concordance for all of his evidence, which, I'm very disappointed. And I also did lots of advertising. I did all sorts of videos. I recorded all his lives. I took all his calls from the prison. And I really feel very badly treated. And I've got to raise concerns, really, because if people are going to be linked to a set of trafficking people based on the fact that they use an accountant, that Mr. Gary Waterman is linked to something else, then this means that anybody could be made out to be a, fraud, corrupt trafficker of people. So I would say that the proof that needs to be obtained should be sufficient evidence to, without a doubt, start linking people to trafficking and eating people and all the other things. Very good to talk about how you link different companies and leaders to, companies that they own. Yes, this says that they own Pfizer and they are part of this, and when did they start it? Yes, but using an accountant to file your company's house returns doesn't mean that you are part of the accountant. It just means that you've paid the accountant to file your company house returns for you. So this is where the irrefutable proof has now got a big crack in it, unfortunately, in my mind. Not just for me, but for anyone else that he wants to make claims about. When we've got CERN, and it's owned by somebody, and it's connected to so-and-so who owns this and that, and they're also doing vaccines, and they're rolling out the 5G, and they're also leaders, and they're monitoring the digital ID, and they're rolling it out with their son, fine. But when you start linking someone like Ayesha from God FM to this type of activity, which is criminal activity, then I draw the line. I won't have that. I've worked really hard for Gary Waterman, and I can say that I didn't sleep much while I was taking all these calls and doing all these videos and helping him as much as I could. And because I believe the stories of David Icke, he decided that he doesn't trust me and has decided I'm linked into all of the fraud now. Just because I ran some companies, one called Redline Intelligence, there's nothing that links me to anything, just dates in his mind of certain things that happened at the same time but there's nothing that ties me to any of it. So I must correct this and say this, because I'm now getting cross. I won't have it. I've worked hard on my reputation and to gain trust with people, to pray with people, and I have an honorable position serving God. And I won't have people mess with my reputation or the Lord's. And the Bible is true. I'm not having anyone try and undermine who I am. And I also want to mention that God FM is self-funded, and that the attack that is on my life really affects God FM, okay, and my estate agents. And so this kind of thing can really damage a person. So I'm calling Gary Waterman to withdraw the slander of my name and God FM within 7 days. If you fail to do so, then I will be launching civil action for recovery of my losses, of my reputation, and my financial losses as well in this matter. Alrighty, I've put a letter up to show you what I've written to Mr. Gary Waterman. Hi, it's Ayesha here. I just want to read you the notice as well that I've sent to Mr. Gary Waterman, just in case there's some people listening who haven't got access to it. Alright, Mr. Gary Waterman, no fixed address, mobile number 07883073043, WhatsApp. And then we have Gary, the truth sets us free at gmail.com. And then we have 10th of November 2025. I've already served the notice on his mobile. Cease and desist 7-day notice to withdraw slander and lies about God FM. I write this letter with complete and utter disappointment at not only our friendship, but also at the actions I now have to take to protect the reputation of God FM and myself. This is dangerous. Someone like you could make up anything about any company based on what's in your head and links to an accountant. A company using an accountant does not make them a part of any fraud that the accountant may or may not have committed based on links you have spotted. I suggest that you will need to find some type of valid evidence before making claims that are untrue. If your evidence is irrefutable proof, then I would suggest you start providing irrefutable proof before you go around making claims about companies and destroying people's reputations. This also raises the question with all of your other evidence that you say there is irrefutable proof, but it is simply a set of dots which you have connected and would not stand up in a court of law at all. Whilst your research is extensive, it is not thorough enough to condemn someone on these grounds without proper evidence, and when someone like me, who works for God FM, for the Lord, who has helped you to the extent that I have, and you have behaved in this way, it leaves me with a very bitter taste in my mouth. A taste of disappointment and sorrow, along with pain of a broken heart. I have worked very hard for God FM to build a reputation and the following and a loyal set of listeners. And as you know, I work with targeted individuals who are often very vulnerable, and the behavior that you displayed when you departed from the group and the way you slandered me just because I believed the stories of David Icke, it made me very uneasy because people trust me, and you've raised doubt in people's minds about whether they can trust me. So I take this as a personal attack as well as a business attack, and also most importantly I take it as an attack against my God who I serve. Please remember that I am self-funded and I have been struggling to earn a living with the harassment and the stalking,
And now I'm under even more attack because you've linked me to some criminal cartel through your own mind, and I'm a single lady serving the Lord, and I have nobody apart from the Lord, and I helped you out of the goodness of my heart. I can tell you that the torture levels since your departure have increased by 90%, and the hacking levels also, all thanks to what you've been saying about me. If you wanted to stop working with me, you could have just told me, and I would have happily departed. But I'm very disappointed in the way you've handled this. If you do not correct this, then I will launch civil action for the recovery of my reputation and financial losses in this matter. Kindest regards, Ayesha Hart, Director of God FM. P.S. Please remember that I also helped you with lots of things like the closure notice, the action pack, many media campaigns, and time handling all your calls from the police and the prison, etc., 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 and many other things. All right, there you are. Have a good day. Take care. It's Ayesha from God FM. And we shall see what he does next. Have a good day. It's Ayesha from God FM. If you want to reach me, you can. admin@godfm.org.uk. And it's also +44 0777 357 I also want to mention I've had quite a few people who are really upset by the way things happen with Gary Waterman and I. People have been trying to get us back together to work together. So, this just demonstrates that whatever we were doing was good and people liked it. And I was only trying to change the world. I don't want to have a digital ID, and I don't want to eat bugs, and I don't want to live in a 15-minute city. I like my freedom. So, knowing where we're going and it's happening fast, I really felt that I, with Gary, could make a difference. But I realize now that I cannot work with Gary in this type of matter. When somebody can change their mind about whether you're trustworthy or not, it's too dangerous to work with someone like that, as far as I'm concerned. All right. Have a good day. Take care. It's Ayesha from God FM.